Welcome you all to today's topic of class 7th, expert detective. My dear kids, what do you understand by expert detective? Have you ever seen any kind of movie or a small picture in this detective? Yes, you would have already seen many and many pictures related to detective, right? So what comes to your mind when we say detective? Don't you think someone is spying behind someone? Yes. Detective is nothing but it's a work of a person who follow someone else to know some of the secrets or the curiosity you have in your mind for a particular person. And if you are doing such work, that means you are called as a detective. So today we are going to read about such a chapter, that who is this expert detective in this story. So here is the slide. I know it's not that clear to you, so it's my humble request to all of you, please hear what I'm going to say here. So the story is divided into two parts, and this is all about part 1. So the story has half a dozen characters in it. That means so many characters are there. 3 of them are children, the narrator, his younger brother Nishad, 7 Nishad, and sister Maya. They became expert detectives. Their mother is a doctor with her clinic. So mother is the doctor. Mr. Nath, the principal character or the protagonist, we can say, and who lives in Sankar's house alone. So here Mr. Nath is living at Sankar's house, that to be alone, is under her treatment, and under her treatment that means Nishad's mother, right? So Ramesh takes tea and meals from the restaurant to Nath's room. So who take meals and tea? Ramesh. So Nath pays cash and also tips to the bearer well. The children go ahead to collect information about Nath. So the children who are very much curious to know about this person, they go ahead to collect information about Nath. They think Mr. Nath is a mysterious person. He has no friend there, and Nishad has a bit of sympathy for Nath, and his approach in this case is sensible. Now let us move to the next slide. Here the narrator is sure that Mr. Nath is an escaped crook or criminal. Crook means criminal. So Nishad, the child, is doubtful. He wants to discover the truth, and he collects a lot of information in the case. So here mother is a doctor where this Mr. Nath is being treated, and Ramesh is the one who bring food for Mr. Nath and even take tips from him. And this Maya and Nishad, they are brother and sister, and Nishad is doubtful for this man, that why this man looks like this. Is he a crook or a criminal? Why is he hidden in a lonely place? So he is so much curious, and he is behind this man. And he collects lot of information in the case, and the narrator has got a ready answer to all. So Nishad's doubts, he thinks that Nath is a rich man. He has perhaps got millions of rupees locked in some trunks in his room, and his notes, dark scars also on the Nath's face. So he's looking like very weak person. Who? Nath. And his face is also is full of scar. Okay. And Nath might have got them during a shot out with the police. So all the scars make him think that whom Nisad, that he may have got all the scars just because of the shot out with the police. So but Nishad contradicts his mummy, had told him that they were burn marks. Why? Because his mother was a doctor and he was the patient under his mother. So one day 7 goes alone to Mama's clinic at Girgaon. So Girgaon, in this place, it was his mother's clinic. So he gets upset to see Mr. Nath, who looks so thin, poor and starving. He goes to Nath's room and put a bar of chocolate in the man's hand. He collects one more clue about Mr. Nath's routine. Ramesh told him that on every Sunday he carries 2 lunches to Mr. Nath's room, and the same visitor is with him each time. So here Ramesh is trying to say all the story what happened in Nath's routine, and he's saying that every Sunday he used to take 2 lunch box, and the same person he see every time. So the tall, fair, and stout visitor talks about, whereas Mr. Nath simply listens. So the man who comes there as a visitor, he is tall, fair, and stout. That means strong. and he always give lectures, or we can say philosophy, or whatever there is conversation where he plays the major role. That means he speaks out, and Mr. Nath used to hear it. But he cannot imagine that Nath is a crook. And here Nisad is saying that how can he be a crook? Right, so this is all about part 1, and whereas part 2 says that the narrator makes a long list of all the information that, so what he did, he made all the list, okay, whatever information he got to know about Nishad, and he started reading it. He reads it out to Nisad, who? The narrator. So the first list was they don't know what Mr. Nath's first name is and they must discover it. So Mr. Nath, have you heard any name here in this book? No, it is taken as the title name as Mr. Nath, right? So their first question was in their mind is that first we need to find out the name of, or the full name. We used to call, or we used to know him as Mr. Nath. So what is the name of this man? The second list was the other tenants at Sankar house say that Nath is mad, strange and unfriendly. So he is living in a lonely house. So Sankar house says that Nath is a mad person, he is strange and unfriendly. He does not talk to anyone. He is under mama's medical treatment, so he has to be polite to the children. He receives no letters, and he has been living in the room 10 for more than a year, and he does not work to earn his livelihood. So he doesn't earn, right? So he has no visitor. Only on Sunday, a fair white man comes to him for lunch, and food and tea are taken to his room by Ramesh from the restaurant as distributor. So as I told you that Ramesh used to bring or take food for this man, and there he doesn't work but he has money. So the rent, the house where he lives, the people there around says that he's a mad, unfriendly, lonely person. So Nishad doesn't pay much attention to the narrator's list of facts. He only pities that the poor man is without any friends. So Nishad is feeling very empathized towards this man, that he is lonely, he doesn't have any friend, right? So he's not believing in that list. The narrator argues that the Sunday visitor must be Nath's partner in crime and comes on Sunday to give a part of ill-gotten money to Mr. Nath. So this narrator, he is saying that maybe this visitor who comes to Nath's house every Sunday, maybe he is the man along with Nath. They are the partner in crime, and he may have come there to give the ill-gotten money, or the black money, we can say, the illegal money. So as for Ramesh, Mr. Nath bribes him to keep quiet about his criminal activities. So as per Ramesh, means Ramesh is saying that maybe Nath is being bribed by that person in order to keep silent about the criminal activities. So Nisha doesn't quite agree with the narrator. He says he will not cooperate in their investigation if they did not stop calling Mr. Nath an escaped criminal. So in his opinion, the purpose of their inquiry is to find out why Mr. Nath is so thin and lonely. So the main reason behind spying around Mr. Nath is why this man is so thin and lonely. He declares that he likes Mr. Nath and he will try to befriend him. So Nishad is such a humble boy that he doesn't want to spy all the information. He just want to know the curiosity inside him, that why this man is so lonely and thin. So the narrator laughs at the madness of Nishad. The narrator is trying to laugh at Nishad, that he warns him that the police would take him also to jail along with his friend, and Nishad walks out of the room quietly. So think of it. The narrator is trying to laugh at the madness of Nishad, because Nishad is a small little boy of 7 and he is trying to investigate. He is trying to know about what exactly, why this Mr. Nath is like this. From where does he get money? How he is living? Why he is so lean and thin? Why he is starving like that? Why he doesn't talk to anyone? So in this way, it creates a lot of curiosity to know about the information about this man, Mr. Nath, and he is being empathized towards him. And why this? And he's not obeying narrator, but narrator, after hearing to him, laugh at him and say that if you investigate, then the police will also take you. So this is a beautiful story, my dear student. Please, please, please open your book and try to read it out, and read it and feel it, that how beautiful the story is. So thank you all for watching my audio. For any queries, comments, feedback, do comment on my chat box. Till then, have a nice day.